3, 3, 2, 1, back with another code breakdown, and this is numbers with D occurrences of D from Codewars. Yeah. All right. Happy Saturday morning, even though I'm sure it's not Saturday morning when y'all are watching this, but it is here, so I'm gonna say it. This exercise from Codewars is gonna be done in Java, not Python, Java. So not getting Pythonic, getting Java-ic, whatever. That didn't sound right. Okay. In this one, we want to discover a small property of numbers. We say that a number is a DD number if it contains D occurrences of a digit, D, and D is in the set of 1 through 9. So D will be something 1 through 9. And if you don't think it's clear by that description, I'm with you. I'll explain it a little bit better soon. Examples, you have this number. It is a DD number because it contains 4 occurrences of the number 4. These numbers are also DD numbers as they respectively contain 3 occurrences of the number 3, one occurrence of 1, and 2 occurrences of the number 2. This last example, these are not DD numbers. Okay, let me tell you what a DD number is if you haven't gathered it to this point. A DD number is a number that contains values that have, or at least one value, that has the same number of occurrences as its value. So, looking back at the first example, this first one is a DD number because it's got 4 occurrences of 4. You see that matching? 4 occurrences of 4. This first number here, this is a DD number because it has 3 occurrences of 3. So the number of occurrences needs to match the value. So we're going to really have the method's going to take in an integer, and we're going to kind of parse that integer to see if there are any values in there that have the same number of occurrences as the value itself. That is a DD number. I think they got to do better on some of these descriptions. They got to have some quality control. But I guess you can figure it out by the examples and using your own guile. All right. Shout out to Street Fighter, right? Guile. Let's get in here and do this thing. Java, so you got your little boilerplate here, and I'm going to expand this out. And yeah, so how do you go about this joint? You're going to get an integer, as you see here, and you got to check out the integer to see like how if there are any values that have the same number of occurrences as that value itself. Well, think about a multi-digit integer like simply like 1, 2, 3, 4. How do you go about analyzing digit by digit when you've got this whole quantity? Well, you can break it apart where I think you may have seen this before, at least if you've watched other videos of mine or you're a fairly experienced programmer. You can break apart a multi-digit integer by using modulo and division. Modulo being the percent symbol from arithmetic, and it is a way to get the remainder of a division. Long story short, you use modulo. When you do modulo 10, like any number, let's say a number x modulo 10, that's going to give you the number in the ones place of that integer. The ones place being the rightmost digit. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 modulo 10, will give us a 4. And this is the beginning of the isolation of digits, where if we do modulo 10 to get the last number, we can throw that into an array or an array list. Then we can divide the number by 10. When you divide a number by 10, it will eliminate the number in the ones place, leaving the other numbers. So then you loop around, you do modulo 10 on the modified number, and you get the next number in the ones place. You do this over and over again, and you eventually get all of the numbers isolated, put into your list or your array list. Then you can analyze each one. And that's really what we're going to do in this video, as they say in some countries. In this video, we're going to do that. And enough comedy here. I need to focus on the code. I'm going to clear this out and get into it. So yeah, I'm going to break it apart. I'm actually going to put it into an array list because I don't know how many digits each one's going to be. So when you don't know the size of your data structure, you can use an array list, because array lists are resizable, various size. You don't have to say the size when you create the array list. I'm going to import java.util because array list is in there. And to avoid a little bit of typing, I'm going to plop an array list right in there because Java is a little more verbose than Python is. Yeah, I'm going to use that array list to store my numbers. And I'm going to go ahead and do a loop to do my number, my digit, I guess you could say, storage. Great, googly moogly. I'm going to add to the array list. N is my original integer. That code right there is going to create an array list consisting of the individual digits from the original integer. I'm going to do modulo 10 to get each digit. Then I'm going to divide the number by 10 to clear the ones place digit. And the condition here is while n is greater than 0, because n is going to progressively get smaller. I'm going to take numbers away from the ones place. Eventually, it will have no digits and it will be 0. That is when we will leave this loop. And once we leave the loop, we're going to have each digit isolated in a array list. So let's get back to how we're going to figure this thing out overall. We need to determine the counts of the digits, like how many of certain values are in it. Well, we need to, or what I'm going to do is determine what are the unique values in this number. To determine the unique values really means without duplication. And a data structure that will remove duplication when you create it is a thing called a set. And one of Java's implementations of the set is the hash set. And I'm going to use that because I'm going to take my array list, and put it into the hash set to get all unique values. Then I'm going to loop through those unique values and then get counts in the original array list to see how many of those values are in the array list. Maybe a complicated idea, but maybe not so much depending on who you are. I'm going to drop code for the creation of the hash set. This creates a hash set, and it's going to be a hash set using the array list as its source data. It's going to take all the stuff from the array list and give you only unique values. So this hash set HS will contain only unique values. What I'm going to do is loop through the hash set, and for each unique value, I'm going to count the number of actual occurrences in the array list. So looping through the hash set, I'm going to use a for each or enhanced for loop, if you will. Of course, it is a hash set of integers, so I'm going to say, like, for each integer in the hash set, do something. Once inside the body of this for each or for each or enhanced for loop, I'm going to create an integer to hold the count of the current value, because I am looping through each unique value. I'm going to count the occurrences of that value in the array list. The array list is the one that will contain duplication. I want to see how many duplicates, basically, of each value are in the array list. So I'm going to loop through the array list. So this will be a nested looping situation, a developing situation, as Bill Pito used to say. Anybody watch NHL Tonight back in the day? Anybody old enough and a sports fan back in the mid-90s? Used to love that show. Whatever happened to Bill Pito? I'm sure he's out there doing well. All right, so I'm looping through the array list using a normal for loop, and I'm going to do an if in here to count the number of occurrences of said value. That's not right. I want to get the value at I, and if this value is equal to num, which is the value from the hash set, if it is equal to the value from that hash set, let's I just have to clear my throat for 6 hours in the morning until afternoon. Okay, if the current value of the array list is the same as the hash set value, I'm going to increase number count, because that means I've got another occurrence of that number or that value. Once my inner loop is done, I will have a count of the values, and I can do a little if statement here, because going back to the original idea or the original purpose of this exercise, it is to determine if the count of a value is the same as the value of a value. That's a DD number, as it is said. Why couldn't they include that in the description? Oh well. I'm going to say if num count equals the value, which is num, I'm going to return true, because this is a method that returns a Boolean, and true would be the case here. And for my false, I'm going to do a condition for false after the outer loop is complete. It means I've gone through all of the values, all of the array list values, and I found no DD number. If I found no DD number, then I will return false. There we go. And I believe that concludes this code. I will condense this a little bit. And yeah, there is your complete code in one screen. It is time to run this thing. I've explained enough, I've said enough, I've cleared my throat enough, so let's check it out. Passed. Passed, very good. And give you one more look. There it is in all its glory. And then I will submit because I don't have a Java version of this one saved yet. So hit that submit. And we are in there. And yeah, there's your solution for number of D occurrences of digit D. My name is Dean Greer. I haven't said that on any of these videos before, but you know it is because you see it on the damn page. But I'm out of here. See y'all later.